So now that we have a properly configured project, let's dive a bit deeper into how you can debug your project or how you can have a great development flow. I showed you my basic IDE setup at the beginning of this course. Really make sure you got the right extensions installed. There, for TypeScript, it comes down to ESLint, which can help you with linting your TypeScript code, so with improving the code quality, though you might need additional configuration for ESLint to have an effect. It can help you in more advanced projects though. But more interesting than that, you want to really use Prettier to automatically format your code and have a nicely formatted code. And you might want to give Debugger for Chrome a try, because that allows you to debug your TypeScript files even from inside VS Code through Chrome, but without using the Chrome DevTools. Of course, you can use those as well. As you learned, if you do enable source maps here, which you can of course always do, you get these translated files there as well, which is really nice. But you can also use VS Code. You can place breakpoints here, let's say in the click handler. And now to launch your files here through VS Code, you need to enable source maps as well, but we still will be able to use VS Code instead of the browser DevTools. So enable source maps, place your breakpoint, and then go to debug, start debugging. Now, the first time you run this, it should ask you for an environment, and there, with that Debugger for Chrome extension installed, you should be able to choose Chrome. It will now go to a launch JSON file where you configure how it should launch that. And there you should point it at localhost 3000 because that's where our development server is running. And of course that process, so the npm start process, should be up and running. So point at localhost 3000 there. And as a web root, you can leave that placeholder here, which means this project folder is assumed to be the host of your files, which is the case. And now compile your code so that the source maps also are generated after setting the source maps config to true, so that we now have these in the JavaScript code. Then with your breakpoint added here and your launch JSON configured, let's run debugging here. Start debugging now for real, and it will open up a new tab now automatically. This tab will be closed whenever you quit the debugging process, or if you close the tab, the debugging process will quit. So now with that, you enter this debugging view here in VS Code, where you can track variables, watch certain expressions, and see the current call stack. And if you now click on Click Me, you should be taken back into the editor, and code execution pauses at your breakpoint in the TypeScript file. And now you can walk through the file here, inspect local values for the this keyword or for the message variable, for example, script-wide variables you might have, and global variables you got access to, global objects. You can watch certain expressions like message plus multiple exclamation marks, and well, then you can always track the value which is in there here in this window if you wanted to, so that would work. And you can see the current function call stack, for example, that we're currently in the click handler. And now you can step through your code with these controls to step to the next step, skipping over the next function call, stepping into the function call, or stepping out of the current function call. And the call stack, of course, here will adjust according to that. And with that, you can ignore this browser sync thing here. With that, you can always resume code execution by clicking the play button and only pause whenever you reach your breakpoint the next time. So this is how you can debug code. You can remove a breakpoint by clicking on it. This is how you can debug code from inside VS Code with the help of the built-in debugging tools, the Chrome debugger extension, the right configuration, and source maps, which are set up in your TypeScript config.